Thank you very much for joining me. This is EDU 556 voluntary session 2. So this is optional, but it's really helpful to kind of walk people through the remaining three assignments. So I'm going to go over assignment 5, 6, and 7, answer any questions that people might have and when they joined. And I'll also, if you couldn't make it tonight, I'll make sure to post this evening so you can always watch the video back. So I am currently sharing my screen. So you should be able to see my screen right here. It says voluntary session number 2. Okay, so we started off with seven ISTE aligned modules, ISTE standards being the standards that the course was actually developed upon. 7 module plans with presentations, with video resources, with readings, and with assignments. I'm providing 2 voluntary synchronous sessions. These are ones you could just drop in and ask questions and listen to me like walk through the assignments and walk through some of the content to assist you. Each one of the assignments has 7 rubrics. And the way that deliver this is asynchronous. It's really, I try to create assignments that are kind of tailored to your needs. So if you're a third grade teacher, you can obviously create lessons and opportunities and tasks and collect resources that are tailored to third graders. Or 10th graders can do, 10th grade teachers can do 10th grade teacher aligned, 10th grade aligned assignments. So I try to get you to tailor to that a little bit, so it's a little flexible and it's really relevant to you as the learner. Okay. So far, you've actually worked through quite a bit of tasks already. So at the very beginning, we looked at the ISTE standards for educators. We'll also look at that at the end because we're walking through all these different ISTE standards. We looked at professional learning and growth. You looked at different digital tools and considered how you could integrate them into your curriculum when you did the search log. You explored digital citizenship when you did your presentations on a specific law or policy that's associated with technology in schools. You actually got to explore some computer science and computational thinking. You actually tinkered, you actually programmed something, or you actually designed something using Tinkercad or something. And you did screencasting. You actually kind of did 2-in-1 where you actually screencast. It's extremely helpful for online and blended learning tasks and focuses. Screencasting is great because you can give directions to your students, you give directions to colleagues, and a lot of you shined. I could just tell that, you had a authentic audience in me, and I was very interested to learn what you learned. And you were very proud to share all of the different programming that you did. And of course, then online collaboration. You actually did produce discussion forums. So what we're going to do the rest is we're going to look at digital instruction and pedagogy. Pedagogy is the art and craft of teaching. We're going to do some video recording and simple editing. EdTPA, which is the assessment used to kind of determine as initial if you're getting initially certified. It is a big it's a big part that actually you record yourself teaching and you reflect upon the teaching experience. Likewise, if you're going to do national board certification down the road, you also have to be prepared to record yourself and critique your teaching. So we're going to do something that kind of models that type of approach. The Assure model, which you should be exploring inside of was it module number 5 now, which has been open for a week, and it's going to remain open until Sunday night. And then data collection analysis, structural decision making. Those are kind of the last topics of the course. Okay. Any questions so far as I just kind of went through the course topics? Okay, if you have any, and also if you're just nervous about unmuting, you can always put in the chat box. I'll answer you in a little bit. But so let me go ahead over the assignment. So we did 4 assignments already. I have graded everything that's been submitted so far. Assignment 1 right now doesn't have a grade because you did a pre-assessment. I'm going to grade it at the very end of the course when it's a post-assessment after you're done with the class. So it shows up early in your grade book, not because I'm trying to give you a zero, but because it's a pre-assessment, post-assessment. I want you to measure how much you've learned over the course of the last 8 weeks. So the best way to do that is to take a pre and a post. So the best way to do that is to give it to you at the beginning and then finish it at the end. So don't worry if it's nagging you that you're late or something like that. You did it, you completed it, and the only reason I haven't graded it yet is because you're not done the class yet. I'll give you directions, probably in the next week or two of completing that last, part of assignment number one. So for the rest of this evening, I'm going to talk about assignment five, six, and seven. Okay, so at a glance for assessment number five, so inside of Canvas, I'm in here right now. There's module number five. You always start off with the plan. You walk through the presentations, and all of these are different resources that you should be reading and exploring, and reading, exploring, considering, contemplating, because they all end up helping you with the assignment. So the assignment is called the DILA. I just say it's the digitally enriched learning activity. So this is kind of like a lesson plan, but kind of like a condensed version of one. What you're doing is you're picking a subject, you're picking, and again, this is aligned to the Assure model. If you watch the video, it kind of went through the Assure model. The Assure model is an instructional design framework that kind of walks you through progressions on how to teach or how to prepare instruction for learners. So it is based in instructional design principles, but it's very useful because it really can fit into all sorts of lesson planning schemas. So you're going to do name, you're going to come up, again, you share your name, you pick a subject and a name of the lesson. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. What grade level you are, what's the length of the lesson? Now, each of the different elements walks you through part of the Assure model. So, analyze learners, I'm asking for what I call the context of learning. Like, what type of learners do you have? Like, if you had to kind of summarize them in a summary, you would tell me exactly what I have a wide variety of students. I have a diverse learning population. I have 25% that are African American. I have a lot of students that have special needs. I have a lot of my students are visual learners. They love hands-on activities. So you're really trying to promote and talk about like your learner, also the learning environment. Where will they be learning? Like, what's the type of classroom structure? Is it like, is it a traditional classroom with rows? Is it one where there's a lot of like stations and centers and hands-on experiences? And then you'll also talk about how will you analyze your learners? How are you kind of collecting this information? So you're basically talking about like, what is the learning environment and who are your learners? You're trying to give me the big picture. How long does it have to be? It doesn't have to be long. Just, a paragraph or two kind of explain to me the situation. So this way I'm not just reading your lesson plan kind of cold. I get to know your learners. Also, you have quite a variety of diverse learners. What are some strategies that you can use to address if you have English language learners, if you might have GT students, the different multiple intelligences maybe that you'll consider, although those are debunked. You can even talk about learning preferences. As you keep on going through analyze the learners, there's a thing there that's called content standards. We all have to use our curriculum to kind of develop our lesson plans from. Some of you might have curriculum guides from your counties. Some of you may be private schools that use some other type of private curriculum. Some of you may use the Maryland State Department of Education's curriculum if they have their voluntary curriculum. I think that link takes you to English language arts learning. So you have to kind of pick what is that big standard that you're addressing in instruction. From there, you create a learning objective. So from the standard, you now have to create an operational objective, something that you're going to, by the end of this class, Students will be able to, you come up with a Bloom's action verb, and then you state what they're going to do and how you're going to measure their success in that action that they're going to do. So there's a recipe right there in the template that'll actually help you create a formal lesson objective. Then you'll start to talk about what equipment and resources you'll need for your class. What digital tools will you be using for the classroom? Like, will you be using digital tools like, will you be using like, I don't know, like National Geographic, or will you be using ABC Kids or something like that? What's the digital tool that you're going to use with students? Okay. And provide a short summary of how you'll use it. Then, as you'll notice, you'll go to U, which is how are you going to utilize materials and require learner response. This is basically the learning progression. You're talking about how you're going to start learning and how you're going to walk through the different progressions until the end. How will you evaluate learners? What's your assessment plan? Like, how are you going to assess the learning? Will it be an exit ticket? Will you be doing observations? Will you give some sort of quiz? Will you have them create some sort of project? How are you evaluating it and what criteria are you using? Now, at the very bottom, there's a little asterisk that asks you to include a student resource in this. What is a handout that you would give to students? It could be a presentation that you give them. It could be the exit ticket that you create for them. It could be a handout, a notes sheet, anything. You have to create one student resource to upload with your assignment. Are there any questions about assessment number 5? You don't have to teach this. That's one thing. Although I will say something about assessment 6 in a little bit. Sheena?
Yeah, I was wondering, can we add any extra visual graphic aids to the end of
Yep.
the
This
form
is
that we're
not meant to
looking at?
limit. Yep. This is not meant to limit you. You can add whatever you want at the bottom of the template. You can adjust my template forever, whatever makes it work for you.
So it doesn't have to be submitted as like the visual aid can be included in this. It doesn't have to be separate.
Yeah, you could do it either way. As long as you either upload it as a separate file or you just put it at the bottom is fine with me.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Yep. So either or. And I'll look at both documents or I'll look at the document at the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. No problem. Um, so no more questions for 5. I'll move on to 6. If you have questions at the end, you're more than welcome to. Now, okay. Okay. So assessment number 6, which I'm going to open up on Sunday night. So this is Sunday night. Um, I'm going to ask you to video record yourself teaching. It could be a class, it could be a small group, it could be a single student. If you don't have access to a classroom, heck, you can sweet talk a significant other, your own children. I basically want you to teach a 10-minute lesson to an audience of some sort. If you end up using a class, I ask that you try to not, don't record students' faces. So you really can just focus on you as the teacher. So this way I can see you on a screen. I can see you at a computer, you at a screen using devices, whatever. It's very flexible. So you're gonna record yourself doing 10 minutes of teaching. There is a form on here which is kind of like a video recording and reflection. You kind of give me a pre-recording information like, what are you recording? What's the lesson about? Give me a brief context of learning, like, what's the class in there? What digital tools are you using? What's the expected learner outcomes? What ISTE standards are being addressed in there? But after you do the 10 minutes of video, you're not done. You're going to take the best 4 minutes of teaching from the 10 minutes of video, and you're going to submit only 4 minutes of your instruction to me. So all these skills and tasks, why am I torturing you with only asking you to select 4 of the best minutes of your teaching of the 10 minutes? It's because it's actually aligned to what you do for national board certification. You have to be able to um, do very simple edits. Now, how to support you. I walk you through, so the whole entire module, number 6, includes free resources for actually doing video recording and editing. It gives you technical suggestions for actually recording. I think I even have an example of somebody who actually did it and recorded it and submitted it with just 4 minutes. So for assessment six, you're going to submit your 4 minute video and your written plan. There's a reflection plan, which I'll go and show you module five, six, and seven in Canvas in just a few moments. But I want to walk through the assignments, ask if there's any questions, and give you any guidance as you go through it. And again, each of these has templates to assist you. So any question on us? Oh, you can if you want to teach what if you want to teach what you developed for assessment five, you want to teach that to your class or a group or again to a small simulated class like of your kids or your significant other or your neighbor or whatever, a friend, you're more than welcome to do that. That's great. Or you can use, hold on one second, my AI is going nuts. Give me 1 second. Well, my iPad's getting old and the AI gets confused now, so it's trying to answer things I'm not asking it to do. Okay, so for assessment number six, you can do what you did for assessment number five, which is the digital enriched learning activity, but you don't have to. You can pick something else. Right. Any questions for assessment six?
Yes, did you say to submit on Anthology or Canvas?
Yep. Yep, anthology.
Thank you.
So all the remaining assignments are going to be submitted to Anthology. I know the only thing we used for Canvas was to do the collaboration where we actually did the discussion forums. And assessment number one, I collected it using Canvas early, but you're actually going to submit the final version to Anthology. So everything is to Anthology. Okay. Final assessment, assessment number seven. So what I'm going to do is assessment number seven is called Using Data to Improve Student Achievement. And it walks you through a scenario, a task in which you are assuming the role of an educator that's going to a data conversation. And you're talking about how your students performed throughout a certain part of the semester. And you're going to do a data analysis using Excel. You're going to crunch some numbers, find some averages, and you're going to do some simple data analysis. You're also going to give students, you're going to make suggestions on how to improve instruction. You're going to end up discovering that students aren't doing too well. You're going to make suggestions on how to improve student achievement. You're also going to show me that you can provide good feedback to your students. So this one is kind of like you're basically submitting for assignment number seven, you're submitting me two documents, a completed Excel spreadsheet and a document that kind of outlines a data analysis, reflections, and all the rest of the assignment. So this one may produce a couple questions. Let me go into Canvas and walk through the assignments, and then that should help you with any questions. Okay. So again, here is module five, which is the digital enriched learning activity. You'll see at the bottom there's directions. Here is the template that'll actually, you can download it and it'll actually assist you with completing your assignment. Okay, so you'll complete this. This is another anthology assignment. And as you can see at the very bottom, it says student resource. Feel free to attach the resource separately, paste it below this template, or include screenshots of so the instructor can view evidence of the resource content. Okay. If you're sharing a link of something like a Google Doc or something, just make sure the link is accessible so the instructor can see it. Okay. And this, again, assessment five is due Sunday night. Here's assessment six. So this is taking you through the process of how to record video. You see, a guide for recording, editing, and preparing your video clip for submission. This actually is the video recording template. It'll walk you through. So there's a pre-recording content, and then there's post-recording reflection. So it's not a very long document, but I am asking you to submit me 4 minutes of your video. So you're going to clip the 4 best minutes. That doesn't mean that you're going to splice them all together. It's 4 minutes of your best time teaching in that 10-minute interval. This gets turned into anthology, so does your 4 minute video. And you have to be careful with your video. Make sure when you record your video that it's not bigger than 500 megabytes. 500 megabytes is a large file, and Anthology won't accept files that are bigger than 500 megabytes. There is an app on there. I give you a free app called Video Candy. Can actually compress video over and over again until you get the file small enough to submit it. Okay, so it's in the directions inside of Module 6. Okay. So now let me go to assignment 7 and show you what I have for that. So Module 7 is the final module. Gets released, I think it's not this week. It gets released March, I think. Let me give you the exact date. It gets released March 2nd. So, what is that? March, let's see, 25th. See, yeah, I think it's no, it might be the 9th. Anyway, um, Module 7 will get released and it walks you through the entire again, I give you module plans that walk you through everything, like what you'll do, the presentation, the videos to watch, the reading resources to assist you. And then this assignment right here, here is the description on how to exactly do everything. Okay, so it'll walk you through, okay, use this worksheet, use this task, work through your assignments. Let me go back to here and show you the documents. So if you're not used to using Excel, don't worry. I give you directions on how to do everything. I give you a practice grade book with directions. I give you a tutorial, a video tutorial that walks you through how to calculate things, how to work inside Excel. Here's assignment 7, which kind of outlines everything. So here is the task grade book. So this is Excel. Here is the, let's see what this is. Here's the task description. And I also below actually give you directions on how to complete everything. Here's how to give feedback to students. So you're basically completing this part as well. So you're doing a Excel spreadsheet, calculating, and from there you're doing an analysis. Right up here, this walks you through an analysis of what to do. So you'll submit an Excel spreadsheet and this data analysis document to me for assessment. So this is due by the end of the course. Assessment 6 is due by the end of the course. Assessment 5 is due at the end of this week. So I try to give a lot more time for Module 6 and Module 7 for you to complete it because they're bigger projects and they take time to complete. Okay. At this time, let me answer any of the questions that you might have. Nancy, go ahead.
I I didn't know that I submit the assignment, but I can make change like assessment 5, the number 5. Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
submit the assignment. I didn't read. I just went with the motion and I did it because I don't know. I has
Okay, so are you saying that you just need to do it, you need to start over and redo?
no. I need to make some to fix something in assessment in the assignment 5.
Okay, so you already submitted it to
Yes, I did it.
I could delete that first submission and grade your second one. So don't worry about that. That's easy. Easy fix.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
And if you're nervous, you can always email me and say, hey, Dr. Schaff, can you just grade my second submission, not my first one? Easy fix, easy fix.
Okay, okay. I want to mail
Just make
you.
sure it goes into anthology and make sure I have a student resource.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Yep. Any other questions are Arlette, Genesis, Sheena, any other questions?
Um, yeah, I had a question about the DILA assignment
Yeah.
and the student resource.
Yes.
So I think I included some sentence scaffolding for ELL learners. Would that count as a student resource? I have a screenshot of the Scratch program that the kids were going to do.
All of those work. All the above.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Yeah, no problem. It's very easy going because I have so many teachers that teach so many different subjects. The only thing, and I don't want them to have to create everything, so I just ask them to create one thing, and that's it. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
No problem, Sheena. Any other questions? Listen, just because we're done for tonight doesn't mean that I can't answer questions. Just email me. I'll be happy to email. I always return your emails within 24 hours. I'm happy to do so. If I get busy, it might be might be a little longer than 24 hours, but I always get back to you. So if you have any questions, finish strong. Yep. So yeah, Genesis, absolutely excellent. I'm glad you all feel good. I'll also put this if you forgot about something, I'll put up the recording sometime tonight, okay?
I had one more question. So you mentioned, cut those 4 best minutes from the video recording.
Yeah.
What kinds of things exactly are you looking for that you would define as like best?
It's it's very subjective. Again, it's me like asking you to, and again, I don't know what your 10 minutes will be. It could be you presenting, it could be you engaging with students as long as I'm not seeing their faces. It could be towards the end as you're using technology. It's really subjective. But I what we're trying to do is you have to do some simple editing for national board certification. And what you have to do is you have to provide them with the best 10 minutes of your teaching or 5 minutes of your teaching. So we're just practicing with like a 4 minute section. So what I suggest you do is like, you know what? Minute 2 to minute 6, they're perfect for me. Let me cut the first 2 minutes here. Let me cut the last, what is it, 4, 5, 6, like last 4 minutes here. Perfect. We'll do that. I'll submit these 4 minutes for him to see. No problem, Genesis. Have a good night.
Okay,
No
thanks.
problem. Yep, my pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great evening. Take care. And again, reach out to me with any questions.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
No problem, Marlette. Have a great night. Sheena,
You
thank you
too.
very much. Have a great night.
Good
I
night.
appreciate all your hard work. I really do.